What up YouTube, Spike Robot here with another video. This time it's another short story, and this short story is called A Mission to Remember, Team Indestructible story. So, and I'm going to read it to you guys. Alright. Who knew that an ordinary day could be the starting point of an extraordinary adventure? Well, Team Indestructible knew that, because it did to them. This is because this is the story of a mission you will never forget. It started when the team members Andrew Gates, Jake Steinfeld, Daniel Gross, and Shadow the Hedgehog were sitting at a cafeteria of their California-based military base. While having their meal, Jake asked, "Okay, how many times have you masturbated in one day, Daniel?" 2 times, said Daniel. "Only 2 times?" asked Jake. "Nah, I'm just fucking with you. That is actually the same for me." Daniel laughed and Jake joined along. "What about you, Shadow?" "Well, seeing how it's hard for hedgehogs to do it, the most I could do was 1 day," said Shadow. "What about you, Andrew?" 2 times, said Andrew. "Oh, really?" said Jake. "You're hornier than I expected," said Daniel. "Of course, this was before I met Annie," said Andrew. As soon as he said that, Annie Kissy walked. Another member of the team entered the cafeteria. She asked, "What are you guys talking about?" "Well, said Jake, "we're doing a round table kind of thing of how many times we have masturbated in 1 day," said Shadow. "Shadow!" shouted Jake. "Can I join in?" asked Annie. "You're a woman. It's easy for you not to do it," said Daniel. "Daniel!" shouted Andrew. "I don't know about that," said Annie. "Why is that?" asked Daniel. "Because I was able to do it 3 times in 1 day," said Annie. "Oh!" shouted the men. At the same time, everyone laughed. "2 of those times I did it inside the barn because I was bored," said Annie. "I'm lucky my folks didn't see come in there." "Well, it's something you can do if you have nothing better to do," said Andrew. He and the rest of the team laughed a little bit. "You don't know how boring it gets living on a farm," said Annie. "I can only imagine," said Jake. "I heard of one kid that was able to do it 17 times, said Daniel. 17 times? Damn, said Jake. "That kid must have been real horny," said Andrew. "You got that right," said Daniel. "Although the 17th time nothing came out, so all his cock did was twitch because he was all out of cum," said Annie. "Yep, pretty much," said Daniel. Suddenly, their superior, General Davidson's voice could be heard on a walkie-talkie. He said, "Davidson calling Team Indestructible, come in. I have an emergency mission I need to brief you on. Come over, ASAP." Andrew pushed a button on the walkie-talkie and said, "Acknowledged." The team headed for over to the briefing room. When they got there, Davidson said, "Okay. There have been reports of machines turning anything into mutant soldiers. They have been put in various areas of the U.S. Apparently, they've been built by a man named Hugo Knox." "Who is he?" asked Andrew. "We don't know," said Davidson. "But the good news is there have only been about 4 places where these machines have been confirmed to be sighted. These places include a harbor that is not too far from here, a farm in Utah, and a museum and club in Nevada. Let me guess, the club is in Las Vegas, said Jake. Correct, said Davidson. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Asked Jake. Anyway, your objective is simple. Find them and destroy them, said Davidson. Oh, and about where Hugo Knox is, leave that to me and Professor Wiseman. You will be seeing a lot of him. Are you ready? Asked Andrew. Fuck yeah, Fuck yeah, shouted the rest of the team. Then put your hands in, said Andrew. They of course did just that. Team Indestructible is go, shouted the team. Seeing how the harbor was the closest to them, the team decided to head there first. This was the plan they came up with. They decided to have Shadow Sexy 7 fight with them and use boats for cover, because they knew the mutated soldiers would be coming for them. As it turns out, the machine was on a boat owned by Knox, a good distance from the harbor. So they decided that they would use the water bug to blow it up. They used a military vehicle to head over to the harbor, and Shadow sent a signal for the girls with a message to meet them at the harbor. Once they arrived at a parking area near the harbor, Annie took off her jacket to reveal that she was wearing a bikini top with leather pants. Andrew could not stop looking at her. It's gonna get fucking hot, said Annie defensively. Shadow Sexy 7 are finally here, said Shadow. He went over to greet the girls when they came out of the van. Damn. Now I really want to find a perfect time to masturbate, said Jake, while admiring their trademark outfits that had much more skin than fabric. All right, everyone, let's go, said Shadow. Everyone made their way to the deck of the harbor, but they were a bit slow and sneaky at first. Andrew and Annie peeked their heads out to see the mutated soldiers. They had faces that were obscured by helmets, and had heads. They had faces that were obscured by helmets and had 2 green lights that resembled eyes, and had typical Kevlar gear and guns. Somebody shoot these ugly fucking soldiers, whispered Annie. Shadow gave a gesture for the girls to run out and swim toward the boats. The deck was pretty much like a base for them, but little did these mutants know that it was going to turn into a war zone. It started when Andrew fired his gun. It started when Andrew fired his pistol at one of the soldiers toward the top half of his body. He shot him multiple times, and he could see that they had red blood spraying. Jake got his assault rifle out and shot another one of the soldiers. Shadow fired his shotgun at one of the soldiers' heads. His head exploded with blood. Andrew fired his pistol at another soldier, but was out of ammo. Fuck, out of ammo already, he shouted. He made his way to the original cover space he took. When he got there, he got out a machine gun and fired at a few soldiers. And blood continued spraying. "Shoot those intruders," said one of the soldiers. He then was shot by one of Shadow's Sexy Seven. They took out a fair amount of the soldiers on the deck. One of them threw a grenade toward the boat, and one of the girls was on, and said, "Die, motherfucker!" The girl jumped off. Shadow then shot the soldier with blood continuing to shed. "That's my line, jackass," said Shadow. Annie then fired her guns at a few soldiers near the building. Jake shot some of the soldiers near the building as well. Andrew shot a soldier running with a knife toward Jake. Blood fell on the deck where he collapsed. "Thank you. I actually needed that," said Jake. "Anytime," said Andrew. The remaining soldiers were shot by Shadow's Sexy Seven. When it seemed that all of them were massacred, a few of them started to appear in the water. The girls aimed their guns at them and fired. "When the hell are we going to use the water bug?" asked Shadow. "Right now," said Andrew, grunting and pushing it toward the water. Andrew opened the door to the water bug in an out-of-breath state he said, "Fuck, that thing is heavy." The team entered the water bug, but this time Andrew drove it on top of the water. He drove it forward until the boat the machine was on was visible and fired a missile. The boat sank, but the machine did not blow up yet. Come on, Andrew, blow that motherfucker up, shouted Jake. "Hold on, I need to get a good look at it," said Andrew. Soon the boat sank enough for the machine on it to be toward the water bug's missile trajectory. Andrew immediately fired the missile, and the machine exploded. "Woo!" shouted Annie. "Fuck yeah!" shouted Jake, putting up 2 middle fingers. Andrew laughed. "One down," said Shadow. The team's next stop was the farm in Utah. They took a commercial flight to Utah. Once they got their luggage, Andrew had something dawn on him. "Aw, shit," he said. "What is it, Andrew?" said Jake. "Now that we're not in California anymore, we don't have any kind of transportation available," said Andrew. "We could use a rental car," said Jake, looking at a Hertz sign. "Good idea," said Andrew. They headed over to the Hertz area, and Jake said, "Sir, we were looking to purchase a rental car." "All right, I will assign you with one of our rental cars," said the clerk. He left after a few minutes and then came back. "You have been given the car on lot 2B. I gave you a ticket to remind you of it. That'll be $75. Andrew got out his wallet, but Jake immediately said, "I'll pay him this time." Andrew shrugged. Everyone went into the parking lot of rental cars and searched for the car in lot 2B. When they got in, to the car. They drove off. Jake, Daniel, and Shadow all sat in the back. Andrew drove with Annie sitting in the passenger seat. Unfortunately, the back seat was so small it could barely hold the three of them there. As a result, it became crowded. "Why the fuck did you unbuckle my seat?" asked Jake. "It was an accident," said Daniel. "Stop pushing me," said Shadow. "If someone opens that fucking door, I'll fall the fuck out." "It's not my fault," said Jake. "It's because of this piece of shit car." "This car doesn't even have a CD player," said Andrew. "What a ripoff." "It's a fucking rental car. What'd you expect?" asked Annie. "Actually, a lot more. Because this is bad by rental cars. This is bad. Actually, a lot more. Because this is bad even by rental car standards," said Andrew. "Well, at least we only have to use it twice and then never again," said Daniel. "Really? Really?" asked Shadow. Actually, yes, said Jake. "The next time will be the last," said Jake. "Good," said Andrew. According to General Davidson, the farm was called Bill's Ranch. How they get it there? How else? GPS. Once they arrived at the farm, Andrew felt something familiar, but he did not know what it was. "I think I know this place," said Andrew. Annie felt something familiar too, but not in an objective way. "All this reminds me of is the boredom I felt on my farm," said Annie. "Let's get this over with." Everyone exited the car, and as soon as they did, the farmer went up to them and said, what the fuck are you doing here?" "Wait a minute," said Andrew. "You're Farmer Bill." "That's me," said Farmer Bill. "You know this guy?" asked Jake. "He was one of my father's friends," said Andrew. "Are you Andrew Gates?" said Bill. "Hell yeah, I am," said Andrew. "Well, I don't know if you can help me with this, but there are these mutant motherfuckers who are causing all sorts of trouble in my farm," said Bill. "I've had to put all my pigs in the pen so they won't kill them." "Actually, I think we can't," said Andrew. "I'm now in the army, and we are on an assignment to take out the mutant soldiers that have been popping up in many areas because they were built by some bastard named Hugo Knox." "Ah, fucking perfect," said Bill. "You go in there and flesh those bastards out." "With pleasure," said Andrew. They went into the farm area with their guns loaded and ready to be used. They aimed at the duplicate mutant soldiers and fired them. They collapsed with blood spraying. "Aw, shit," said one of the mutant soldiers coming out of the barn. Andrew ran into the barn, following him. Annie noticed more mutant soldiers coming and fired her gun at them. Andrew noticed the soldier that he was following was about to kill the only horse left that was still alive. He then fired his gun at the soldier, and the bloodbath in the barn continued, but this time with the enemy. We can add animal cruelty to the list of crimes you're guilty of, you son of a bitch," said Andrew. Shadow fired his pistol at a soldier near a chicken, and he collapsed with his gun and collapsed firing his gun with blood splashing out of him. The chicken ran away from the soldier as fast as he could. "That's right," said Shadow. "Run to safety." Jake shot one in the Jake shot one in the head and then tried to shoot another but ran out of ammo. "Damn it," shouted Jake. He then ran to the barn and a soldier ran after him. Near the doorway, Jake found a pitchfork. He picked up the pitchfork and stabbed the soldier in the gut. Blood fell down as he collapsed. Daniel was firing his gun near a pen when Farmer Bill came up to him. Daniel looked over and said, "They just keep coming. We need some fucking explosives." "One explosive coming right up," said Bill. He then gave Daniel a dynamite. Daniel then started running and shooting a few soldiers. But as he was reloading his cartridge for his gun, one of them shot him in the hand, and he dropped the dynamite towards Andrew. Andrew picked it up and went over to Annie as she was shooting some soldiers with blood, not stopping anytime soon. "Do you have a light?" asked Andrew. There were no soldiers for the moment, so Annie quickly reached in her pocket and gave her lighter to Andrew. "What if more soldiers come out of that machine?" asked Andrew. "I'll cover you," said Annie. Andrew then kissed her head. Annie smiled. The machine was located behind a silo. Just as the machine was about to produce more mutant soldiers, Andrew opened up the lighter and moved it toward the fuse of the dynamite until it sparked. Andrew then threw the dynamite toward the machine, and the machine exploded. The bad news was the soldiers were already created after all this. The good news was the soldiers were caught on fire because of the explosion. As the soldiers were walking, their bodies were engulfed in flames. Andrew fired his gun at them, and they collapsed. Farmer Bill came up to Daniel and could sense that he was in pain because he was holding his bloodied hand. "Here, let me help you," said Bill. He wrapped a bandana around Daniel's hand. "Hey, thanks," said Daniel. "Who in tarnation is going to blow up that machine now?" asked Bill. "It's already done," said Andrew, walking over. "Did you do it?" asked Bill. "Yeah," said Andrew. "Damn tootin'," said Bill. "Can we let the pigs out now?" asked Andrew. "We sure can," said Bill. Andrew opened the gate of the pen that the pigs were in, and the pigs started running out. "You know," said Annie, this trip to the farm was not so boring after all." "Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it," said Bill. Annie smiled. They stayed at Farmer Bill's house for the night, but the next day they took another commercial airline to Nevada. Once they got their luggage and everything, Andrew said, "Time to go through the fucking process of buying a rental car again." They found a Hertz near the airport exit. How it happened was very similar to last time, but the similarities ended when they got the car. "Is this car up to your fucking standards?" asked Annie. "Actually, yes," said Andrew. "Yeah, and it's actually not crowded back here as it was in the other car," said Jake. "Do we have the right address?" asked Andrew. "Yeah, I think so," said Annie. "Davidson was nice enough to tell us, and I was nice enough to write it down. The world is nice enough to give us GPS," said Andrew. After a little bit, the team finally found the museum. When they got to a parking space, they grabbed out all their weapons and entered the museum. As soon as they entered, they saw one of the mutant soldiers holding a gun to a middle-aged man. Jake immediately got out his pistol and fired at the soldier's head. His head had exploded with gore. "You have an itchy trigger finger there," said the man. "It comes in handy," said Jake. "As the director of the museum, I must ask what you characters are doing here firing all these guns," asked the man. "We work for the U.S. military," said Andrew. "Oh, thank God you're here," said the museum director. "These mutants took the people of the museum hostage." "Where are they?" asked Daniel. "Near the dinosaur exhibit," said the museum director. The team followed the signs that told them where the exhibit was, and eventually they found the dinosaur exhibit. It was pretty much a fortress for the soldiers walking around. And frightened people were there. "Mommy, I'm scared," said a child. "I'm scared too," said the mother. God damn it," this is going to be harder than we thought," said Andrew. While the others were thinking, Daniel looked over and noticed that there was something on the second floor. He then got an idea. "I'll go snipe one of them, and one of you can tell everybody to run to a safe place," said Andrew. "I'll go snipe one of them, and one of you can tell everybody to run to a safe place," said Daniel. "I don't know, it seems a little too risky," said Andrew. "Well, it's not like we have a lot of options," said Annie. "I guess all we can do is try it and hope it turns out all right," said Jake. "All right," said Andrew. "This had better work." "Hey, Andrew, watch my ass," said Annie. "With pleasure," said Andrew. "You always say the sweetest things," said Annie playfully. Andrew smiled. Daniel took the elevator to the second floor. The rest of the team hid behind the soldiers in cover, so the soldiers would not be able to see them. Daniel got on a ledge and pulled out his sniper rifle. He then aimed carefully at a mutant soldier's vital areas. When he found a clear shot, Daniel fired the sniper rifle. The soldier collapsed. The other soldiers got into their positions and started walking. Everyone screamed, but only briefly. As the soldiers got closer to the team knew it was time to attack. Shadow then fired his SMG at a soldier. He collapsed with gore, like the other one. "Everybody in the back, run to safety now," shouted Shadow. The people started running away from their position. A soldier turned around and was about to fire at the hostages, but Andrew shot the soldier with blood spraying again. "Oh, no, you don't," said Andrew. The rest of the team started firing their guns at the soldiers within the vicinity. Each of them collapsed bloody collapses. But there were still a few soldiers running toward an exhibit near the hostages that were no longer there. So the team moved closer to there. The exhibit contained an iguanodon and a palm tree. Annie then shot a soldier, and the soldier collapsed. There were no real good cover spaces on the floor next to it, so the team decided to break the rules and use parts of the actual exhibit for cover. Jake peeked out of the palm tree and shot a soldier. Blood oozed out of his chest. Shadow then shot a soldier using a scope with his SMG. Annie shot a soldier toward the dinosaur's body. Blood sprayed like a sprinkler. Shadow and Jake kept shooting soldiers. Annie held her gun toward one of the soldiers' feet. Oh wait, no. Annie held her gun next to one of the dinosaur's feet and fired a gun at a soldier. "Send in reinforcements," shouted one of the soldiers. Andrew shot that soldier. "Shit," said another one. Andrew shot that one. It seemed like all the soldiers were shot, but a few moments later, a few more came in through the door that led to an outdoor exhibit. The team ran over to the door. Jake fired his gun at the soldiers, and they collapsed with blood splattering on the door. The team went through the door and found that the machine was next to an exhibit containing an owl. "Somebody get the fucking bazooka out," shouted Jake. Shadow got the bazooka out. Let's hope that not another one of those bastards comes out, said Jake. Oh wait, no. "Let's hope that not another one of those bastards comes out," said Shadow, getting it ready. The museum director came out and saw them. Shadow opened the cap of the bazooka, aimed it, and fired it at the machine. The machine exploded. "Hey, you almost destroyed one of my exhibits, you creature," said the museum director. "I'm a hedgehog," said Shadow. "Fine. You naughty hedgehog," shouted the museum director. "You can send me a fine later," said Shadow. "We gotta get going." Team Indestructible decided to go straight to the club. Davidson had already told them the address, and Annie had already written it down. When they entered the club, the receptionist had a very fearful expression on her face. "It's a miracle you're here. It's a miracle you're here," she said. "The mutants have already killed all the members of the club." "Oh my fucking God," said Andrew. The team immediately went inside the club room. They overheard some of it, but the mutants were playing some dopey music. But the second the team entered the club room, Shadow yelled, "Die, motherfucker!" He then fired his gun toward a mutant soldier. The mutant soldier collapsed, firing his gun. Some of the bullets hit the music machine, and sparks flew, so the soldiers could not play any more music. Andrew then shot another soldier, and blood sprayed. Jake shot a soldier nearby one of the walls, and blood once again sprayed. "Intruder alert!" shouted a soldier near a table. Andrew shot the soldier near the table. Annie crawled under the bartender area and saw a soldier firing a gun. Annie shot the soldier in the head. Blood sprayed out of the back of the soldier's head. Andrew shot another soldier multiple times, with blood oozing where he was shot. Jake shot a soldier, but when he aimed for another, the soldier said, "Wait, I can make a better party for you. What would you like me to get?" "Okay, I would like some booze, some strippers, and some better music," said Jake. "I thought you would be sensible, but you're just another hedonistic degenerate," said the soldier. "And fuck you too," said Jake. He then fired his gun at the soldier, and blood once again sprayed. Some soldiers and a new type of guard came in through the exit door. "Another outdoor machine," said Andrew. "How convenient." Shadow shot both of them. He looked at the lifeless body of the guard and a huge HKC on it. And it had a huge HKC on it. "What the hell does HKC mean?" asked Shadow. "That would be a good question for General Davidson," said Jake. They exited into a back alley where, sure enough, the final machine was there. Shadow got the bazooka out and fired at the machine. The machine went up in a fiery explosion. "All right, that's all of them," said Andrew. The team high-fived each other. While walking back to the car, Jake asked, "Now what?" "We called General Davidson," said Andrew. He then got his cell phone out and went to his contacts and selected General Davidson and put it on speaker. They were in the car at this point, and after a few beeps, they heard General Davidson's voice. It said, "General Davidson of the U.S. Army speaking. How may I be of service?" "Team Indestructible here," said Andrew. "We have destroyed all the mutant machines. I repeat, we have destroyed all the mutant machines." "Good," said Davidson. "What do we do now?" asked Daniel. "Well, you're about to meet me and Professor Wiseman at the facility tomorrow." "Wait, no. Well, you're to meet with me and Professor Wiseman at the facility tomorrow," said Davidson. "It's near the Hoover Dam." "Roger that," said Jake. "Wait, what do we do in the meantime?" asked Andrew. "Anything you'd like," said Davidson. Over and out. Over and out," said Andrew. He then hung up and said, "We should check into a hotel in Las Vegas. We more than earned our goddamn break." They then headed toward the hotel they previously checked in the last time they went to Las Vegas. When they got into their hotel room, they admired it in awe. "I forgot how nice the hotel rooms were in this hotel," said Annie. I think I'll start using my laptop," said Shadow. "You know, that's not actually a bad idea," said Andrew. "Do you even remember the passcode?" asked Daniel. "No," said Shadow. "But in my defense, I've only been here once." "Fair enough," said Daniel. "Here's the phone." Andrew couldn't think of anything to do at the moment, so he laid on the couch. Annie joined him. That night, Andrew was walking back into the hotel room after throwing something away when he saw Annie dressed in the bikini top and leather pants she wore at the harbor in California. "Aren't we a bit overdressed?" asked Andrew. "Don't try to deny it," said Annie. "Deny what?" asked Andrew. "I saw that bulge in your pants," said Annie. "Oh, sometimes I stare a little too much," said Andrew. "You don't need to feel guilty about it," said Annie. I just want to help you out with that. Well, now that you've put it like that, said Andrew, I want to fuck you hard until I come. Now you're talking, said Annie. She then kissed Andrew with passion. They wrapped their arms around each other and continued to kiss. They moved into the bedroom. Andrew undid Annie's bikini top, and she lifted up his shirt. They took each other's clothes off until they were completely naked. Naked fucking is always better, said Annie, between kisses. Annie then straddled and thrusted on top of Andrew, repeatedly. Andrew leaned over a few times to kiss Annie's breasts. After a few moments into sex, Annie said, "Give it to me, Andrew," and he sure did. But it was fine because she had already orgasmed, but was still aroused. Where better to spend a night of pleasure than in Las Vegas? The next morning, the Team Indestructible headed over to the facility near the Hoover Dam. When they got there, they met both General Davidson and Professor Wiseman. The team saluted General Davidson and vice versa. "Allow me to introduce to you Professor Wiseman," said Davidson. "Hey, I know you," said Andrew. "You're the museum director." "So you're Team Indestructible," said Wiseman. "About using the rocket launcher near the owl exhibit, I was out of line," said Shadow. "Hey, forget it. You were right to blow it up," said Wiseman. Shadow smiled. All right, now that we know each other. Now that we know who we are, let's explain why we are all gathered here, announced Wiseman. General Davidson and myself believe we have located where Hugo Knox is. He has his own fortress, but the reason he contacted me about, of all people, is because of where the fortress might be. General Davidson believes that the fortress is located in space, very much near Earth. But we were able to gather very little evidence. All we have to go off of is the fact that he studied space exploration and that these machines are clearly alien. That is where you come in. I have developed a space shuttle called the Stormbreaker. Why? Well, for you to pilot it, of course. Don't worry, it can only go up to 4 Gs. And pretty much anyone can take 3 Gs. But you will have to use a small device. It is a camera that you strap on to your suit. We need this camera to show us that's the proof that you have entered the base of Knox. We will be watching the cameras on the Stormbreaker through a TV screen. Once I flash the signal, you will press a button on the ship that will switch the screen to the point of view of the micro camera. It is a green button. Do you understand everything? Yes, said Team Indestructible. All right then, prepare for the operation. Give him hell, said Davidson. Without hesitation, the team was escorted onto the shaft that led to the entrance to the Stormbreaker space shuttle. But not long before, Wiseman provided them with laser guns. After a little bit of nervousness, They had a little bit of nervousness, but knew in the back of their minds that it would all be okay. Each member soon entered the space shuttle with their space suits and their seats, and there were seats at the cockpit for each of them. Andrew, naturally as the leader, sat in the pilot seat. Annie sat in the co-pilot seat. Everyone else took whatever seats they could. Soon, the moment came for the launching of the Stormbreaker. A distorted voice said, T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. The engines of all the rockets of the Stormbreaker ignited with fire and smoke. Each rocket carrying the Stormbreaker moved up. Each rocket carrying the Stormbreaker moved upward faster and faster and higher. Wiseman and Davidson were amazed by the sight. But inside this shuttle, things seemed to take longer than expected. We're still not in outer space yet, said Jake. We're getting closer the more we fly, said Andrew. About 30 seconds later, the window of the space shuttle finally started getting darker, and stars were visible. We're finally in space, said Annie. I can finally say that I've flown a rocket in outer space, said Andrew. I think this is a first for all of us, said Daniel. What is the sensation? Asked Shadow. I feel weightless. That's because of the gravity, said Jake. It's not the same on Earth. Soon the carrier that was attached under the shuttle detached, and the shuttle moved downward until it flew like a normal spaceship. Andrew moved the control stick to the left a little bit. Are you sure that it is the right way? Asked Daniel. No, I'm just thinking of areas it could be located, said Andrew. Andrew's random guess turned out to be right. It looks like there's a space station there, said Jake. This reminds me of the Ark, said Shadow. Could that be Nox's space colony? Asked Annie. Only one way to find out, said Andrew. Andrew leaned the control stick forward, and the shuttle moved slowly toward the space station. Move, goddammit, said Andrew. After a good while, the shuttle was finally close to the space station. Now we've got to find a good space to board it, said Daniel. If there is one, said Andrew. Wiseman and Davidson could hear all the talking between the team through the TV as well. Andrew then looked to see that there were other space shuttles attached to the hallways and Andrew looked to see that there were other space shuttles that were attached to the hallways that stretched to the inside of the space colony. If there's no empty hallway, we're fucked, said Andrew. He then looked for an empty hallway. He did find one on the right. He then drove the space shuttle into a position where the doorway was facing the entrance to the outer space hallway. Back on Earth, Wiseman flashed the signal. There was an alarm that sounded on the shuttle. Andrew searched frantically for a green button. Annie found one and pressed it. What would I ever do without you? Said Andrew. Annie laughed a little, and so did the rest of the team. Wiseman and Davidson even joined along when they heard it. The team opened the door, then opened the doors and entered the space hallway. They walked down the space hallway for a little bit, until they were stopped by a bunch of henchmen that had the same letters that said HKC on them. The team was about to pull their laser guns out, but one of them said, "Pull out that gun and we'll shoot." The team had no choice but to put their hands up. They were escorted to a large room with technology and a big window showing the top of Earth. "Sir, we have found a bunch of intruders in the hallway," said the HKC guard. "Splendid," said an older man. "They will be here to witness my glorious dream, but I shall give a proper introduction. Welcome to Hugo Knox Corporation. I am the titular Hugo Knox, and you all are invited to watch my dream unfold." "I think I'll regret asking this," said Jake, "but what is your dream?" "Well, now that you've asked, it involves this giant laser," said Knox. He then pointed it toward it, and the team looked in its direction. This laser will fire in a few minutes," said Knox. "And when the laser fires, Las Vegas will cease to exist." "So that was your fucking evil plan," said Andrew, "to destroy Las Vegas?" "Yes," said Knox. "They call it Sin City. Believe me, it is well named. It is a city that has nothing but neon lights, vile sexual behavior, and greed. I will punish those hedonistic scum that populate it for wasting their lives and amounting to nothing." "Wait a minute, why the fuck did you place all those machines in other places?" asked Jake. "I just like goofing on people," said Knox. "You can laugh it all up all you want and think it's... You can laugh it up all you want, but we don't think it's fucking funny," said Andrew. "You can dislike a city all you want, but you have no right to fucking kill innocent people. Because what you fail to realize is that people who engage in prostitution and gambling realistically do not hurt anyone really. The delusion that they did it posed on by the law is why the delusion that you did posed on by the law is why you think they did." "Delusion?" asked Knox angrily. I have been there and saw the obnoxious, self-absorbed people that make up the entire city. None of the people are worthy of life itself." "There may be awful people there," said Andrew, "but you know what you just did? You just made a fucking unfair generalization, you self-righteous, moralizing cocksucker. People like you make me sick to my goddamn stomach." "Preach it," said Daniel. "Preach it," said Daniel. "I have had it up to here with your foolish attempts to discredit me," shouted Knox. "I swear that once the cannon fires, the world will see Las Vegas for the place of debauchery and sleaze that it is. To you it sounds like poetry, but to everyone else it sounds exactly like what it is," said Andrew. "Bullshit!" yelled Team Indestructible. "Enough!" yelled Knox. "Guards, throw them out into space until they freeze." "Yes, sir," said a HKC guard. They then escorted the team from the room. Everyone walked silently down another hallway that presumably led to an airlock shaft. But all of a sudden, the hallway started shaking so fast that everyone became discombobulated. Shadow realized he had a perfect opportunity to get free from the HKC guards. He grabbed an HKC guard and threw him over his shoulder. He then punched another guard. Once the guard was about to hit Andrew with a stick, Andrew punched him. Jake pulled out his laser gun and fired at another guard. Annie punched one in the face and he collapsed. Everyone else got their laser guns out and were ready. Oh wait. Everyone else got their laser guns out, ready to fire. "Let's tear this place apart," said Andrew. They then headed back into a large room with all the technology. When they got there, Andrew fired at a HKC guard operating one of the computers. The guard collapsed. The other guards started firing their laser guns. The team found a cover space in the middle of the floor and made their way toward it while firing their laser guns, with sparks and explosions flying where the missed laser shots were. That is, except for Daniel. He went over to the controls and noticed that there was a self-destruct button on one of the panels that said laser cannon. He pressed it. He pressed the button and the laser cannon exploded. Annie shot a HKC guard on a balcony. Shadow shot an HKC guard Shadow shot an HKC guard near a hallway entrance. Jake noticed one of the HKC guards climbing down a ladder. He threw the ladder down. Once he got up, Jake shot him with a laser gun he had. Annie and Shadow shot a few more guards. Andrew shot a guard and tried to shoot at Knox running away, but it was no use. "I'll be right back," he said. He then ran after Knox. Jake then shot two HKC guards coming out of a hallway entrance. Andrew followed Knox into a hallway that led to an airlock shaft. "You will suffer," said... Oh wait, no. When he caught up to him, Knox stood at Andrew, staring at him. "You crushed my dream. You will suffer," said Knox. After a few seconds of them standing there, Knox attempted to grab a laser gun from a dead guard, but Andrew threw a knife at him, and before he could get it, "On behalf of Las Vegas, fuck you," said Andrew. Blood started spilling down Knox. Andrew opened the door to the airlock shaft. Andrew pushed Knox inside the shaft, and the door leading to space opened. Knox floated away in the cosmos. "I think I'm going to miss that bastard," said Andrew. "Not." Andrew went back to the large room and said, "Did you get all of them?" "Yeah, I think so," said Jake. "All right. We need to get the hell out of here," said Andrew. "This place is falling apart." Everyone ran down the hallway, but it was one that led It was the one that led to the space shuttle they used. Despite the fact that the ground was becoming unstable, they kept running as fast as they could. When the first member got on the space shuttle, they quickly opened it and let everyone inside the shuttle. Each of them quickly got into their seats they were originally in. Andrew pressed a button that detached the shuttle from the entrance and flew it away from the space station. After 10 seconds of flying, Annie looked over to her right window and saw the space shuttle explode in a fiery explosion in outer space. "We did it," said Annie. "Do you know where we're supposed to land?" asked Shadow. "I'll figure it out," said Andrew. "We'll figure it out." Andrew and Annie eventually did, and together they flew the Stormbreaker back to the site in Nevada where the operation was. After finding a safe place to land, the team exited the shuttle and were greeted by a bunch of people, including Farmer Bill and the club receptionist, applauding them and cheering them. The team gasped in happiness. Suddenly, two men came up to them. They were Professor Wiseman and General Davidson. "I shall reward you with these medals," said Wiseman. He then hung 5 medals around each of the members' necks. He then hung 5 medals around each member's neck. Each of them said to their name, the Space Warriors, "Because you not only took out that nasty man Knox's base, but you have proven our theories and this operation to be a success," said Wiseman. "Well, I guess all I can say is thank you," said Andrew. "Words cannot describe how proud I am of you," said Davidson. "Seems like America is proud of you." "This was truly a mission to remember," said Andrew. "Could not have said it better myself," said Jake. Andrew high-fived him and the rest of the team, and then kissed Annie with extreme passion. Team Indestructible would remember this mission for the rest of their lives. The end. So I hope you all enjoyed this story. I'm Spec Robot. If you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel and take it easy. Support our troops.